Hello and welcome back to my channel, She Says Happiness. I'm Mary Ellen, in case you've forgotten, since I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. And yeah, this is where I share all things stitching related with you. So I have been sewing again. My last Sunday sews, I think, was 2 weeks ago. And basically what happened was I got pretty sick the first week and I couldn't do anything and you wouldn't have wanted to see me do anything. So I was away, pretty much recovering. It's gonna be a long month, I think. So yeah, that explains my absence for part of it. And then last Sunday, I was actually feeling so good. I decided just to go out and enjoy myself and not think about anything. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm back. I'm here to share with you a pattern review more than a big massive pile of things that I've been up to. So to be honest, I haven't been up to a lot apart from work. I have one more week left of work and then I'll be on maternity. Little one should be here within the month, so we'll see how we go. And hopefully I'll be able to make the most of the last couple of weeks before they arrive, and I'll get some stitching done, which probably will be baby related. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to sit at home and do nothing, that's for sure. I have been clearing out quite a bit. That's taken up some time, and we've got a log burner put in the little back room, so that's been redecorated and moved around a little bit just in preparation for the winter and for the little arrival. Yeah, so it's pretty much been all go. This morning I've been and had my hair coloured again, so I'm fresh, I'm revamped. I am ready now until the aftermath, and then I'll be hopefully booked in and ready to go again. But yeah, I feel so much better just to get my nice vibrant red back. So what am I going to share with you today? What is it that I'm so excited about and have to share? It's one pattern that I have now made 4 times. In my last Sunday sews, I spoke about a version of this pattern that I really just wasn't sold on. Saying that, I have worn that garment a couple of times, more than a couple, just as a throw over in the office to keep me warm when it's a little bit chillier. And the pattern is the Sew Over It Jessie Coatigan. Now I have gone ahead and I've made 3 of these in the last few weeks. The first one, which I couldn't share with you, was for the Jenny Stitches Fabrics blog, and there is now a blog live over on Jenny's website, which I'll link in, and you can go and read about the pattern there. But I thought I'd also make a video just to share it with you in case you'd missed that and hadn't got to see my thoughts on the pattern. So the Jessie Coatigan was something that I was led to kind of out of necessity. I had bought this pattern previously and never made it because I do tend to go for more tailored fitted garments, particularly for my outerwear. I'm not a kind of person who loves a lot of ease or a lot of room, but given the current circumstances, sewing for a pregnant body has made me reevaluate and make certain calls to get me through the next few weeks and months. So I pulled out the Jessie Coatigan, and I have to say I was pleasantly surprised by how much I loved what is essentially a baggy, oversized garment. I didn't hold out much hope for the pattern being something that I would make a staple, but you know, I made it firstly out of necessity, just because none of my outerwear would fit, and I needed something that would do for the last few weeks of growing, and I wasn't really prepared to love it as much as I did, but I do. I love this pattern. If you go over to Jenny's page, you'll see the version that I made there. I'll maybe pop one picture in just to give you a sneak peek, but I used a beautiful coating fabric which Jenny gifted to me for the project, and it's 20% wool composition with 80% polyester, for which reason I didn't actually pre-wash it, and that's perfectly fine because I have no intentions of ever washing it. My coats only ever go to a dry cleaner, so that's why I made that call. So I didn't have to worry about any shrinking or anything like that. And worst case scenario, if it shrunk, I'm gonna not mind because hopefully I will have shrunken as well, and that's not gonna be an issue. So this was a coating that I loved the minute I suggested to Jenny that I was going to make Coatigan for my next blogger project. She actually sent me a preview snap of the fabric, and the colours were just so me, as you can tell, that I had to go with that. So I used this gorgeous pumpkin check, beautiful fabric, really nice weave to the fabric as well. Sometimes what you find with polyester and acrylic blended fabrics is that it can unravel quite easily while you're sewing. It can be pretty messy, and also can sometimes get quite loose as you sew, and therefore the sizing and stuff can go off. But with this one, it was absolutely beautiful, and it held together so well. No fraying, hardly any mess in my sewing machine, which is a bonus. And yeah, I just absolutely loved making it. So the Jessie Coatigan is basically an unlined, loose-fitting, throw it on top of whatever you're wearing garment. There's no frills, there's nothing fancy, fussy about the style of it or the making of it. And I just thought it was perfect to get me through autumn and winter, but I know I'll be able to wear that on a cold spring day here in Ireland as well. So it's going to be something that I pull out of the wardrobe a lot. There is a lot of ease in it. Now, I could probably have sized down, didn't know that at the time, and then I thought, well, if it does get as cold as it tends to get here in Ireland, I'll be able to throw on chunky cardigans and knitwear and stuff underneath. I mean, you could easily layer 3-4 layers underneath the garment. Even the arms are really well sized so that there's no bulk really. You'll be pretty comfortable wearing it. So yeah, depending on the fabric you choose. So I've made it in the coating that you've just seen. If you watched my last Sunday Sews episode, I made it in like a rib cotton knit. Still not sold, but I have worn it, so that's okay. I've worn it, it's fine. I just hate making something and then thinking I'm not going to wear that. That would be awful. But no, it has been used. I'm just not that enthusiastic about the look or the shape of it. It's definitely a pattern that I will make only in heavier weight fabrics in the future. I won't do it with cardigan weight things. The other versions I've made have been in boucle. So again, stretchy fabric, but a bit more medium to heavy weight. And it just gives it a bit more structure, I think. And the problem with the jersey was that it stretched out a lot while I was sewing, which isn't normally something I've ever experienced with any jerseys, but it happened with that one, so that kind of put me off. But yeah, so unlined, really not fussy. There's very few pieces. You've got your front, your back, your sleeves, your cuffs, and you could probably make it without cuffs if you want it. It's got facing and it's got pockets. That's essentially it. So it's like 6-7 pieces. There's nothing complicated about it. And when you're not lining it as well, I mean, you probably could line it, but there's no need to line it. It's not the way it was intended to be. The color's nice. It has a bit of a 60s feel to it. And while 60s is not traditionally my style or my go-to era, it works. I do quite like it. That kind of shawl collar, which is something that features in most of my outerwear anyhow. So last year I got really into the princess coat, although I like the jacket versions, by Charm Patterns, and I always went for the shawl collar because I just absolutely love that. So there's something quite timeless about the Jessie Coatigan. It's not something that you would say looks reminiscent of a certain era or just looks modern. It doesn't look either. It's just pretty timeless. And as I say, really good ease built into the pattern. It also has drop shoulder sleeves, so there's no fitting issues or anything to worry about there. And yeah, it's strange. I last year really enjoyed the process of toiling and doing more tailored things, but this year I've got off really lightly. Saying that, I'm looking forward to getting back into the nitty-gritty of dressmaking and toiling and learning about fit and trying to get things just right for my body. But at the moment, what really is the point? Because it'll never be like this again. No matter what anyone tells me, it'll never be like this again. So what else can I say about it? I mean, in terms of construction, as I said, there's very few pieces. It's very simple to construct. There's a little bit of hand stitching around the neckline and for hemming, but I only hand stitched the version that I made in the coating fabric. When it came to the boucle, because the threads matched so perfectly, I actually just hemmed it up on the machine. So yeah, not much hand stitching involved in the boucle versions. I first made it in a black, so I'll pop pictures in just for reference. And this is a boucle that I got from Fabrics Galore. If you remember, this is the one that I cut out and then discovered there was a slight hole in the fabric and I had to mend it, and you'll never know the difference. So it's absolutely fine. It's holding up really well. My little patch up is not only a secret, apart from you and I, it's also a success, which is even better. And then I loved the black boucle so much, I decided to make a red version. So I'll be moving out of my autumnal rusty colours into red as we get into the Christmas season. So I thought that would be a great basic to have in my wardrobe for the Christmas month and thereafter, of course, as well. So I got this beautiful kind of claret burgundy wine. It's a wine shade of some kind. God, I miss wine. Can't wait to have a glass of wine. But yeah, it's a really deep red. I got this from Jenny Stitches Fabrics as well, and absolutely love it. So that's my third outerwear version. I'm not going to count the cardigan because I don't love it. Otherwise, I would say I've made 4 within the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we're going to stick with 3. But yeah, love this shade. It's so warm, and yeah, it'll get me through right up until the springtime. So that's my outerwear sorted. So there's no point in me going finding other patterns and making more, because I now have 3 very versatile pieces, very different looking garments that will go with pretty much everything in my wardrobe. I have been sewing other things as well, but we'll share that in another video. Yeah, absolutely loved it. So it's going to accommodate that bump for as long as it's there, and it's going to keep me warm until such times as I can fit into my more tailored fitted garments. Now, saying that, I will pull these out again next year. Even if I manage to end up much smaller than what I was when I first got pregnant, I'll still wear those because there is something just so cozy and warm about them. I just pull them on every evening when I'm taking the dogs to the park, pull them on, just sit in the car on a really cold morning, and yeah, really comfy and really satisfying to have something that just feels so good and soft. Turn that off. So yeah, sewing for pregnancy has been okay. It's been basic. I haven't made anything elaborate. I was fine the first kind of like 4 months, everything was fine, and then I just had to think longevity. Because I think I spoke to you about this in my last video. My main concern when I make my clothes is that I make something that's not going to be worn once and then thrown into a wardrobe. Because before I came to sewing, not yet 3 years, but before I did, I mean, I had a lot of garments that were worn for an occasion, and then I would buy another one for the next occasion, and that's pretty much how I was. And when I kind of realized that and felt awfully ashamed and started my mission to create a handmade, sustainable, environmentally friendly wardrobe, I promised myself that that wouldn't happen. So when I make something, I make it with the mindset that I'm going to wear the hell out of it. And then when it needs fixed, I'll fix it. Because when you put the time and the effort in, you don't just want to discard, you know, all that work that you have done. So that's where I am, my Jessie Coatigans. love them. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I have some sewing plans in my head. Doesn't mean they'll translate that way. I've kind of been putting it off because I can't decide on what I want to do next. So I've been doing some of my cross stitch projects, and now that they're all finished, I'm sitting here today thinking, what is my next move? So you can see I have moved back on to dressmaking. I have some fabrics for the little one, which I might start sewing things with. I also have some flannel, which I'm intending to make Simon a shirt out of. It's pre-washed and ready to go. It's just the 17, 18, 19, possibly more pieces that I need to cut out to do that is what's putting me off. So I've made him now, I think it's 3 different shirts with the one pattern. So it's Thread Theory Fairfield button-up shirt, and it's lovely and it fits so well. So it is a simple make once I start sewing. It's just getting the cutting done. I have tried to hint that it might be something he could do, but he's just not into sewing. He's got his own stuff. In fact, any noises that you might hear is him up doing stuff in the attic. Some wiring or something that he's working on up there. So that might be the next thing I make if I can get around to cutting out the pieces. But for now, I'll content myself with getting this video edited and upload it, and hopefully I'll be back soon to share with you whatever it is that I get up to. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well, and whatever you're sewing, I hope it's going smoothly, no issues. And yeah, share with me in the comments what it is you're sewing. And yeah, if you want to give me orders as to what to do, because I really can't decide whether to do more dressmaking or do some shirt making or do some baby making. Not like that. Making things for the baby, because there will be no more baby making ever for as long as I live. People who tell you that pregnancy is a wonderful, glorious thing have obviously forgotten all of the little horrible side effects that come along with it, not to mention the health professionals one has to deal with all too often. But we're nearly there, so yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be back on next week. And the one thing I do want to share with you, because I've been asked for it now a few times, is my sewing machines, and yeah, how I pick them, why I pick them, if I love them, if I don't. So that's one of the things I'll work on whenever I get off work. So 5 more days to go, and hopefully I'll be able to share lots more content with you. So take care wherever you are, and I will be back soon. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already, and give this video a little like. It helps grow the channel, I'm told. And yeah, I'll be back soon to speak to you then. Take care. Bye bye.